Hi, I'm Pete, and welcome to Just a Few Acres Farm. I'm getting out today before I finish my morning coffee because, you know what? Even though it's a nice day, it's supposed to snow 4 inches tonight. April is a fickle mistress. I want to show you something right off the bat because we got a delivery last week. Look at these guys, little broiler chicks. I'm so happy you guys are here. Our hatchery that we ordered chicks from last winter, the one that canceled at the last minute, called me last week and said, "We've got some chicks for you, want them?" And I said, "Yep, send them over." We're in good shape now. What happens is the hatcheries have over hatches and under hatches, so it's kind of a bit of a guessing game how many chicks they have on any given hatch day. They may have an over hatch where more hatch, or an under hatch. Just depends on how many eggs out of the whole lot hatch. So we got the results of an overhatch. This means we'll be bringing chicken to market for Memorial Day, which is always our target date. They're started 1 week late from what we normally do, so we'll just bring them to market a little bit smaller. And I'll button you guys back up so you stay nice and warm. He's always going through doors. Why is he doing that? And I got something with this 756 that I want to take care of quick. First thing, well, let's see if she'll start. It's cold. I have found that she does not like to start very well when it's cold outside. 40 degrees, that kind of range. How am I supposed to drink my coffee and hold the camera at the same time? As I mentioned in the last video, this tractor has 2 batteries on it, and originally they were 2 6-volt batteries. There are 2 12-volt batteries. Some eagle-eye viewers noted that in the last video. And the assumption was when you have 2 12-volt batteries that they're wired in parallel, so they still put out 12 volts total for the pair. They're not. Somebody wired them in series, so they're putting out 24 volts. That's why the starter spins so fast. I got to fix that right off the bat and hope that their goof up didn't fry anything up front in the electricals. Here's a little trick I learned working with batteries. Always take the ground post off first, in this case a negative ground tractor. That way you don't run the risk of arcing to anything when you're pulling the terminals loose. So I got the negative off there, and now the positive won't arc when I pull it off. When you wire batteries in series, 2 6 volts equals a 12 volt because you go from ground to the negative post of one, then from the positive post of that battery over to the negative post of the other battery, and then the positive post of the second battery goes to the starter, and you've got 2 6 volts wired to make 12 volts. In parallel, you ground both of the negative posts on both batteries to the ground, and then you send the positive terminal of both batteries to the starter. There's a couple different ways of wiring that, but the simplest is you take the positive from each battery and you run it straight to the solenoid terminal on the starter, and then you've got 12 volts with twice the amperage. You add the amperage of the batteries together. So in this case I've got about 500 amp batteries, so I'll have 1,000 amps at the starter at 12 volts. So what I'm going to have to do is modify these cables. I need a ground strap to go to ground from this battery that sits here, and then I need to modify the end of this cable into a connector in the solenoid so that I can connect that other battery over there directly to the starter as well, so both batteries will go direct in. I'm gonna have to go get parts for that. Luckily they use 2-aught cables, which I always use in tractors, no matter 6 volt or 12 volt. Bigger the cable, the more juice gets to the starter. Here we are, my friendly neighborhood ag track to get the battery connectors that I need. Alright, I got what I needed here. 1 new ground strap, 1 electrical cable fitting for 2-aught fitting, dielectric grease. We're ready to solder her up. Flux fitting. Now I can take my modified cable and run it through to the other battery. Put my other connector on here to the other battery. And the hot post of the solenoid. You guys are in the way. You gotta move. Where am I gonna put you? It's getting in the way. Hook that hot terminal up to the battery here on the other side. You know, they put new batteries and new cables on this. Everything's still nice and clean, so that makes the job easier. I cleaned up this ground area here, cleaned up the bolt, put on this ground strap, put the battery back in, positive to positive. I'm positive about that. And negative to negative. I can't think of a joke for that one. No jokes, no negativity here. Now's the moment of truth. We'll see how much slower she spins with just 12 volts instead of 24. That wasn't bad. Let's see if she's charging. Yeah, should be up around 14 and a half, but 13.6, it's charging. You're wandering around inspecting the work, aren't you? Yeah. Mr. Ezra is making sure there's no mice in the manure. Right, Ezra? Ezra's actually a pretty good mouse catcher. Somebody ran into something on this side of the tractor and bent the step all the way back. Let's see if we can fix that. With a long enough lever, you can move the world. It ain't factory, but that'll do for now. I gotta take this dual hub off too, but that's a job for another day. Gonna have to heat these up with the torch. They are really crusted in there. Yesterday I went through and greased the tractor, checked all the fluids, topped things off. After I work it here for a little bit, I'll go ahead and change the oil. I don't like to put a lot of money into tractors when I buy them until I run them for a little while and figure out where the priorities are. All right, let's go. I went through the manure spreader yesterday too, greased it, filled all the gearboxes, made sure everything was working all right. So we'll give it a full load today and see how she works. Why did the Buddhist refuse Novocaine for his root canal? He wanted to transcend dental medication. All right, let's go. Oh, she really flinging the pole. That's kind of heavy. Oh boy, I got a problem here. One of the apron angles broke off on one side. You can see where it was hooked on over there. It caught a rock and bent and then it broke. So we shall have to cut it off. That'll do it. Well, there's some more scrap steel. There's this guy out in the Midwest. I think his name is Zeke or Zachariah or something. And sometimes he does this thing. Here, let me try it. All right, here we go. Let's see. All right, here we go. Boy, that makes the work so much easier. What do you guys want? Patty, what are you complaining about? You're just giving me the evil eye. They know the grass is greening up. They want to come out, but it's going to be a couple weeks, I think. Maybe even 3. What are you pigs doing? You've got the bulge here. I think they're trying to break out. I think I might have to put another T-post in there. Must be something good down there. What are you eating? Probably the poop from last year's pigs. All right, let's try this again. What is she doing? Boy, it's like 4 o'clock at the Golden Corral here. Well, one thing's for sure, the temperature gauge doesn't work, but the fuel gauge does. And there's a little temperature gauge down here, but it's got some problems. I guess the number one question on a lot of people's mind after I bought this tractor was, will Hillary let me back in the house?
I told you to buy it.
Yeah, it's actually not that way with Hillary. It's not don't you dare come home with another tractor. It's buy another tractor, buy another tractor. I think she wants me out of the house working on tractors.
That's the real reason. No, it's not. It's a nice tractor, though. I mean, it's unique and it's rare, and I think it's a good addition.
It sure does run nice in the field. It just feels so solid compared to the 656. Well, I'm happy I bought it. But I was at the auction and it was coming up for bid, and I texted Hillary and I said, geez, I don't know. I think this tractor's going to go for $9 grand, $12 grand, and she said, buy it. Well, I always do what my wife tells me to do.
No, he doesn't.
This manure spreader is a lot sloppier than the other one. It falls out of the gate when I'm loading it. Needs a slop gate, but it's not on this one. Why wouldn't the shrimp share his treasure? Because he was a little shellfish. Alright, I don't trust you guys. I'm putting another T-post in here. Remember the old saying, always sorry to see cattle go, never sorry to see pigs go. You guys are going to break out of here. Why are you guys so adamant about getting under there? There's nothing interesting out there. My gosh. Isn't it time for you guys to go and watch Oprah or something? Go eat. Go eat. That's what you like to do. I am done spreading manure for the day, and the weather's gradually getting worse. It's chilling down and snow's coming. April can be a very stressful time on the farm. There's so many things to get done before the busyness of hay season, moving the cattle every day, butchering chickens twice a week comes. We got one more load of firewood to cut and then we'll be done with that. I have to finish spreading this pile of manure to right here and get that on the fields. I got to put the fenders on the MD. I got them all cleaned up. I just got to paint them and install them. After I finish spreading manure, I got to clean up all these driveways and then put stone down on them. We'd like to clean up and plant at least part of the garden. What a mess. I got to fix the fences and all the fields, and I got to replace the shingles on the addition roof. It's stressful like this every spring, so what I do is I keep a list in my phone and I prioritize, and I try not to start another job till I've finished one. So right now I'm into finishing spreading manure and getting the firewood done, depending on the specifics of the weather of the day. And when it's cold and rainy and snowy, I'm working in the shop getting the MD finished up, and I got to get to changing the oil and all the tractors too and doing their annual service. So I don't know, just try to stay organized and work my way through it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be back with more work. I got plenty to do. I'll see you next time.